Hello, my name is Lauren. My friend, Professor Nabil Jabbour from Lebanon, is an author, a lecturer, and an expert on Muslim culture. I invited Dr. Jabbour to read his book, Unshackled and Growing, for you, one small section at a time. A PDF version of the entire book in English is available to you for free on the website friendshippathways.com. You may also access past episodes there. I present to you the episode, Relational Sin.
Relational sin. Think for a minute about your relationships. Is there a relationship you need to restore? Are you willing to do the hard work to make this happen? It might require giving up your pride. A few months after I surrendered my life to Christ, I was on a summer vacation enjoying deep intimacy with Christ. Then I realized I had swallowed a rib a few months earlier during the school year. I had borrowed a nice necktie from one of my friends at school, and I intentionally, as it were, forgot to give it back to him. As I thought about it that summer, I finally had the courage and honesty to call it by its true name. I admitted to God and to myself that I stole the necktie. Although it was painful, I wrote a letter to my friend, put some money in the envelope, and sent it to him. Relief and joy came immediately. I felt like I was running, not just walking on the road of grace. Jesus had a lot to say about relationships. Imagine a man traveling for a few days from north of Palestine to Jerusalem to worship and offer a sacrifice. After this very long trip, he may have arrived in Jerusalem just in time to hear Jesus say in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 23 and 24. Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to your brother, then come and offer your gift. Jesus says to this man, if you want to really make your sacrifice count in God's eyes, leave the lamb, the sacrifice you brought with you from your home here in Jerusalem. Travel back to your hometown, find the person you sinned against, and ask for forgiveness, and then travel back to Jerusalem. After that, you may offer your sacrifice. It would be like someone telling you to leave your Bible study group and go to work on restoring a relationship before you join back in with a Bible study. You might say, but that person sinned against me. I did not sin against him. Is this my responsibility? Addressing this situation, Jesus said in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 15 to 17, if your brother sins against you, go and show him his fault just between the two of you. If he listens to you, you have won your brother over. But if he will not listen, take one or two others along. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. Either way, reconciliation is required. As you work to restore a relationship, keep in mind the following principles. Number one, the goal is not simply to apologize. The goal is reconciliation. It's possible for you to apologize without resolving the conflict. Secondly, before going to see the other person, spend some time with God, praying and remembering the details of the conflict. The sin of the other person will be very clear in your mind. But what about your sin? Jesus said in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 3 to 5, "Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." Ask God to help you discover the plank in your own eye before you talk to the other person about his speck of sawdust. Thirdly, when you realize how you have sinned against the other person, determine to apologize to him. Do not mention his sin until he is willing to admit it. Fourthly, when you apologize, do not say sorry. Instead, say, "I have sinned against you in being selfish or proud or whatever the sin is." Then say, "Will you please forgive me?" It is best to phrase your apology in the form of a question so that you get an answer. Ideally, the response will be, "Yes, I forgive you." 5. If the other person is willing to admit his sin, respond with humility and love. Relationships are like a glass barrier that separates you from others. Your responsibility is to keep the glass clean from your side. You cannot force others to clean the glass from their side, but they may work on their side of the glass when they see you cleaning your side. When people see your humility, they are likely to respond in the same way. Pause this episode and spend some time reflecting and praying. If God brings to mind people with whom you need to reconcile, write down their names and start praying for the encounter. Ask God to prepare you both to experience Christ's presence during your reconciliation conversation.